What's going on, world? Jack of all spades CLT, back like Pookie in New Jack City. I am the beloved one, DJ Spellman. To my left, the pride of Africa, Ken Wabibi.
It is I, Pride of Africa, Wabibi. And I got to shout out DRC Congo, the hometown, the home country, DRC Congo.
Let's go. Mboté to all my DRC massive across the world. To my right, we have Banks on the beat.
Yes, sir. Banks on the beat, Blue Water Banks, all that. Fat Boy Tires.
3700.
Wilkinson Boulevard, the hub, all your automotive needs.
Already. And today, our special guest who is getting us slizzard, we have Miss Camillya Masunda.
Yes. Peace, Kings. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, of course, thank you for making time for us because you are the star of this episode.
And our first Congolese guest.
Yes,
Really?
yes.
First one.
No.
Family.
It's a privilege. I feel very privileged.
We start off every podcast giving our guests their flowers. So with you got a long rundown here. I need my glasses. Member of Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Yes,
JCSU graduate.
of course.
Protest organizer.
Yes, a little rowdy, but get things done.
Yeah, right. You're getting it done. Community activist, author,
Yes,
wellness advocate.
yes.
Features on Travel Noir, WBTV 92.7, The Block, and The Meek Melly Show.
All those blessings to be a part of.
That's right. And you're also a serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
Let me shout those out too. The Cultural Giving Tree for early learning, Spa Diva Kid Spa, Camilla's Organics, Ebony Wine&Spirits, which is right in front of us right
Yes,
now.
yes.
We haven't
Yes.
noticed
Cheers.
already.
Cheers.
Pinky up, you know. We're fancy.
I hope you guys are enjoying it.
Talk to us about a lot of that.
Okay, well, of course, as you can see, member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, I pledged to Johnson C. Smith. I love my alma mater. So happy to be to have went through that path at Johnson C. Smith. I definitely found myself, learned about everything I wanted to do in life, and then just really kind of obtained that reason to have passion about everything you do instead of just going through life. I think one of the biggest things I learned from going to HBCU was really having to feel whatever you do. So when you have a passion for something, I think things move a lot differently.
Sure, for sure.
Let's see what else. I think you said, well, first and foremost, I'm a mom. So shout outs to my daughter who's 17 on her way to college next year. Me and her, that's my business partner. So she's the co-owner of Spa Diva Kid Spa. And she will be handing her crown over to my niece, Camillya Masunda, who's been in training forever. So Anaya will be 13 next year, and she's definitely ready.
Okay.
So we just pass it on in the family.
Yeah.
So as you get older, you start to work and you run a business.
Yes.
That should be done. Right?
Yes. Let's see what else y'all got.
We got everything.
Point something out, and I'll tell you a little bit. Okay, one of the biggest things too, before everything, my mom is probably my biggest cheerleader. She's the one who has my back through everything. She's like my go-to person. She's hard on me, but she's my go-to person. Definitely seeing a strong woman kind of hold everything down, but for seeing her integrity and seeing how much she just believed in everything that I was doing. And I'm one of those people who can be scatterbrained because I'm going to try everything until I get it right.
Yeah.
And so she was really the one like, okay, like I'm with you. Pick something. So definitely, I think she's my business partner in the Cultural Giving Tree for early learning. We call it a mini HBCU. We're an Afrocentric Child Development Center here in Charlotte. We educate students from 6 weeks to 12 years. So we have infants all the way to 8th graders. And then we have our nonprofit, which is Project Hope City to City, where we we mentor children, our youth. We have summer camp programs. We have mentoring programs, volunteering workshops, and volunteering in general. Tons of monthly events, but deeply enrooted within the community. I think all my businesses kind of circulate Project Hope City to City, meaning they have to put a certain percent like kind of like tides. So we have to put a certain percent back into the nonprofit so that the nonprofit has funds, constant funds coming in to be able to do the mission work.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we're going to throw it back to a post that you had from September 13th, 2005.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Years.
Oh, that's my fear. Like, blowing up and then people start posting stuff.
This ain't a negative thing, no. We're not about to cancel you, I assure you. But it said, make passion your paycheck. And it definitely seems like you're passionate about the youth and of health. Yes. So can you tell us more on why you chose those businesses?
Well, I love working with children. That's definitely a passion. I think once you're around them, like the love that they have for you, seeing you through their eyes, like you're everything. You could have nothing in society. Society could tell you have nothing, homeless, everything, and you meet a child and you're just able to sit and talk to them, spend time with them, and they'll make you feel like absolutely everything. So understanding that, hey, we're not going to be young forever, it's very important that we pour our knowledge into the seeds so that they can grow up and they can build and continue our legacy. So with youth, for me, that's everything. I've always had a very great, great mentor. She's literally my mentor to this day. She calls me her school daughter, but Felicia Davis, she took me under her wing. She was like 1 year out of college, out of Winston-Salem State. And she was a first-year teacher, a marketing teacher. And I'm telling you, we were so bad advanced. And she just took us under her, she gravitated to the kids who, had all the math, had the attitude. And ever since then, she's an AKA. Okay. She's when I tell you, she's just a boss in her own right. And she's been in my life forever, and she was at my event last night, so she is still with me. So I really champion myself to always be invested in the youth, always be invested in the community, because that's my foundation. Literally coming from a very, very humble beginning, and understanding that these tons of people who I've been able to just be under invested in me, and these are people from Charlotte. These are people who have great, huge businesses all over the country now, but they took their time to invest in me. So it's only right that I continue to pay it forward. Yeah. And as far as health and wellness goes, one thing for me, if you ever had grandparents and you saw health issues, you saw things that you had the knowledge to change. And if we have the knowledge to do something or to change something, that means that it's up to us to go back and do those things. So Camillya's Organics, we're wellness and CBD. So just understanding the CBD industry, understanding its healing components, and understanding what it can do within our community. That's definitely a challenge, and we want to share those things so that we can get our parents, we can get our elders off of pills and different medicine that, the pill industry or the narcotic industry, feeds off of them and their insurance and things like that. We want to get them on natural remedies so that, we can keep them here longer and then educate them on health, educate them on how to eat, what to eat, how to sustain life.
All right. Okay. Now, can you enlighten our listeners about the power behind the flower that you was named after and how, it led to Camillya's Organics?
Okay, so let's see. So the story goes, just my mom and my grandma trying to figure out what to name me. Little side note, my mom's tubes were tied when she had me. So I wasn't even expected to be here. But so just them two, they were doing their conversation and looking at different names to name me. And so they pretty much came across a flower, and the flower was named the Camillya. I didn't, of course, they didn't know everything about it in that moment. It was a beautiful flower. But when I started to research the flower, I started to get older. I started to research and understand the flower. And then, of course, my mom said, my mom told me later on that she's like, yeah, I knew that. But I'm like, okay, why didn't you ever tell me? But she told me so the Camillya flower is great for your skin. It's great for people who have issues with eczema. It makes your skin glow. It has healing powers. It has so many things. Even with extracting the oils to drink a tea, which is a purifying tea. So it's so many things that you get from the Camillya sinus plant, and the Camillya flower itself has a lot of different strands. Like it's all over, but a lot of them are based in Japan. But you can find the Camillya flower in like 2 different regions of the country. So yeah, the more you know.
100%. True. 100%.
Yes. And so that really was, so if you go on the Camillya's Organics website, you're actually going to see, so you're going to see Camillya's Organics, which is like our CBD. Then you're going to see our Kinshasa tea, which is a loose leaf tea that we have. And then we also have the our skincare line. And then, of course, you have our Ebony Wines and Spirits and Ebony Essentials, which is the glassware. So, of course, if you have wine, guess what? Ebony Essentials.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So you sipping on Ebony and you holding Ebony in your hand. Yeah.
So you already answered my next question. I was going to ask if that's under the umbrella, but it is under the umbrella. So
yes.
Tell our listeners, how do you start the process of owning your own wine?
Okay. So just one, I wouldn't say, so if you're not going to go into something with a passion, then I wouldn't even say do it, because this industry is 1% Black owned, less than 1% Black owned of Black women. And so the industry definitely has not been something easy for me to break into. It's definitely been what people don't know. I'm actually in school I take online classes, just constantly learning about wine, learning about temperature, learning about sources from wine, learning about just the combination of flavors, when to drink, how to chill, when to, just how to pair wine. Because a lot of things in our culture, we are not just taught off that about wine. The wine culture is not something that's just going to be on your plate. Right. So the biggest thing that I would tell anybody trying to get into the wine industry, go ahead and take a class. Go ahead and start learning wine. Go to YouTube University and
big up YouTube University.
Exactly.
And just start learning about the blend. Start learning about what you think that you want to get into. Because for me, again, if I say how to start it, it wasn't really a how for me. It was a thing that I had already been thinking about for a long time. I knew from the beginning I just couldn't come into wine just to sell anything. I'm not good at doing things without purpose. So again, with Camillya's Organics, with Ebony Wines and Spirits, Ebony wine, if you look up the word ebony, you're going to see, if you look it up or if you go to images, you're going to see the essence of blackness. So when I started researching, I was like, oh yes, when I just felt empowered when I started reading that. But then I started looking at it from a context of all over, trying to see like how people view ebony, people from different countries. And so just in my travels, I think before all this COVID, me and my daughter I took her for her 17th birthday, went to Honduras, Belize, Mexico, and a few other places. We just was on tour for her birthday. And everywhere they look, melanated people look like you and they look like me and they speak tons of different languages and the dialect is so beautiful, the culture, the food, everything. So in crafting ebony, I wanted to have something that represented the culture all over the globe, something that when you held this bottle that you felt the unity amongst the culture. So that's what even when thinking about it, when crafting it, when building it, putting together paperwork wise, it had to be a purpose. So if you see like any of the hashtags, it's going to say celebrate, join in the celebration of culture all over the universe and all over the globe. As much as my biggest thing is just when you hear people or when I'm reading emails or reading messages in my DM and they're in Canada, they're in Congo, they're in Paris, and they're, it's resonating with them like, wow, like I love everything about this. So we have something that, hey, we can celebrate together, no matter where you are. We have something that we can hold up together. We can sit together and like, hey, we're relishing in the ebony, in the essence of the celebration of blackness, Black art, Black movement, Black languages, and all that embodies the culture. So I think.
Hey, that was deep.
Black excellence. Big up Black excellence.
Big up Black excellence.
Thank you.
And I also got to big you up for not giving up, because there was a lot of, you said there's a lot of no's in the beginning, a lot of closed doors in the beginning, and you also said that power lies in having the courage and the ability to fight for your dreams. And so now you're in Aroma Cigar, you're in Common Market, you're also in Rondo Market as well too, and we just got to big you up on that for not stopping, keep on going.
Oh yeah, one thing about me, I think you asked him. Well, we talked about this before. Even with having my daughter at 15, and it's not like, to me, it's not enough no's that you can tell me, because I'm never gonna stop, no matter what. Because it just, one, in our community, having a child very young, being young, per se, still in school, not gainfully employed, people tend to look at you in a certain manner.
Correct.
And I know for me, it was very important to strive to not stop. I don't care if they look like me or not, if they were my counterparts, whether if you were putting me down or at any given time, it really didn't matter. I just turned that pain into power. One, early on, just making sure that she had the education that she needed. I'm talking about, toddler, preschool. As much as I'm doing homework, you doing homework, I'm reading, you reading, because I already knew what I was preparing her for, and I already knew what was gonna come, what was gonna come our way of people and how they were gonna receive us. So I always told her, like, hey, we have to be better than better. We have to be better than good. And that's how, even to this day, that's how I am with her. I definitely tell her there's no perfect child, there's no perfect person, but you have to understand that we have a mission. And when people see you and see our adversities, that's going to be that's going to be up to them to really look at us and say, wow, if they can do it, we can do it.
Exactly.
So I don't really take no for an answer. I'm just gonna keep coming back. So you might say, hey, if you hear me out there, if you're a store, if you're a restaurant, you should go ahead and let me in, or I'm pulling up every single day.
Message.
Something gonna crack eventually.
Hey, listen, they gonna let me through the door,
right?
Or either I'm gonna push the door down.
He mentioned Aroma Cigars, Common Market in Plaza Midwood, and Rhino Market. How'd you go about getting Ebony Wine and Spirits in these kind of locations?
Really just having my pitch together. One of my great friends, Rashida Mills, she's the founder of Barcode Solutions, and she's been in the industry, in the wine and spirits industry, in the entertainment industry, and just I call her one of my business besties. And just pitching things with her. And I was just telling her, hey, they're not answering my emails. Like, I don't know what to do. She's like, oh, they're not going to answer your emails. You got to go. You got to go there. And so I still did my emails. I still did my calls. But I took her advice and I started going. And I just started like, hey, excuse me, can I talk to you for a minute, sir? Like, and listen, they started to listen. They started to listen. The pitch, I think working on my pitch, personally, it's not even a pitch. It's really what I just told you guys about Ebony.
Yeah.
And so it's like undeniable. They're like, hey, okay, well, if it's a 1% industry, let me see how many Black-owned wines I actually have in my store. And so when you go look, you might only have one or two. And so you might be surrounded by hundreds of wines and you only have one or two wines that are Black owned. So, hey, it's either that you're going to be an ally and that you're going to understand, like, hey, this is not right and I have to be a part of the solution, or you're going to say this is wrong and I'm going to be a part of the problem, but people are going to know that you're wrong.
Right. Resilience. You currently offer Riesling, Fusion Red, Moscato. What's your favorite type of wine, and would you consider yourself a sommelier?
Yeah, throw the rosé in there now.
Throw the rosé in there.
So, yeah, honestly, I'm not a huge drinker wine, but I like wine, and I fell in love with wine, really with the concept of creating something out of nothing. So when it comes to wine, I just love the process of the wine making. And so that's really how I fell in love. How I fell in love with it. My favorite one, I don't have a favorite. I love them all. And if you have them all, you're going to love them all. I think we just launched a rosé yesterday, and the rosé is absolutely everything. Everybody loved it. We sold out of every bottle that we had at the event.
Sip up.
I'll be there in a second.
And so, yeah, I love every single one of our wines. I think everybody receives the wines really, really well. I think the message plus the taste makes everyone receive the wine really well. So yeah, I don't have a favorite.
Okay, hard to pick your favorite child, right?
Hold on a second. Before you move forward though,
Okay.
I had to big up you on your promotion. Your promoting is A1. Like, every time I'm on social, I see Ebony wine. You know what? And it makes you want to go ahead and see what it's about. I appreciate that. Your key on promotion is dope.
Well, thank you. It's so funny that you say that. So, how have any of you ever been on a street team like in college? Like, y'all ever promoted?
I haven't been on one, but I've seen that street team plenty of times.
Yeah, I know street team.
So back when I was in Greensboro, y'all, I was on like 3 different street teams. Like, and I took it really, really serious. And like when the other girls were just trying to like get into clubs for free, I was really with the promoters trying to like learn everything that they learned. But they saw that in me. Mm-hmm. So the crazy thing is, one of the guys who I wasn't even working for, I was working for another guy. He like pulled me to the side and was like, "Hey, when you come back next year, I want you to work for me. I'm opening a club." I was like, "What?" And so when I came back, I didn't have a car. He gave me they let me use like a car. Like they taught me how to order flyers. They taught me how to pretty much do their bar order, like do so much and they paid me for putting it. You know, you went to unpaid, you know, when you passing out flyers, you know, you're not getting paid.
Correct.
But I was getting so much more. Like that's why if you can go in something when it comes to like internships or just opportunities to apprentice, I think in our day and age now, everybody's just like, pay me now. I don't have no experience. Pay me right now. Yeah. And I'm just like, y'all, sometimes you can get something that is so much more than you getting paid, because what if I can teach you the whole business?
Correct.
I can teach you how to build and make your own. And so that's what they did. That's what they did for me. And so really that's how I got, I call it guerrilla promotion. Like learning really how to post, when to post, but also realizing that in this industry with what I'm doing, with what our team is doing, Ebony Wines cannot be like everybody else. And I think that's been my challenge. I think I struggle with, because I'm like, oh, only post this at this time, only post that. And then I'm like, you know, I felt like my ancestors was telling me, nah, this ain't gonna work for you, because what we have for you is so much bigger. You're not going to be able to promote how they promote. You're not going to be able to post what they post. You're going to have to do this different, because wine can be so intimidating to people who are not connoisseurs, people who are not into wine yet. But when they see when they see the modern, or when they see you enjoying the wine, they see your peers enjoying the wine and you educating them and having fun with it, that's something different. And so for our generation, the millennials and Gen Xers, we coming in and it's like, hey, it's a whole nother market out here and they're ready to know about wine. So you can't teach them like the people who've been here for 10 to 15 years. Like, no, they don't want to learn like that. So yeah, it's just an industry that I've been in for a while, not that long, but I've had to learn, and I'm so excited about being a part of something so new and being received so well, and then just learning the industry. And so I've been blessed. I know a lot of different, and not know them, but we kind of message each other on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we just email each other and just, kind of say congratulations and different things like that. Because in this industry, it is a good bit of Black-owned wines, But the thing is, it still doesn't amount to
What's already out there.
what's
Right.
exactly.
Less
We're
than
still
1%.
exactly. It's hundreds of us, and it's still like y'all. You're still a pinch. So.
Okay. Any plans to have your own vineyard or open your own winery?
So I would say definitely that's something that is that's something that's in the works. I'm working with with some friends of mine who they acquire about 25 acres in Anson County. So yeah, in Polkton, and it's called Coble Gables, and they're looking to build a whole modern reservation. So it's like these really cool Airbnbs. It's 25 acres, and it has like a lake, like pond area. It's crazy. It looks absolutely amazing. But some of us, we can't see once you see a bunch of trees and land, it's hard for them to see the vision.
Yeah.
Big picture.
Yes, but so yeah, we're looking for something to pop off in the next year. So yeah, definitely. I would love to have a vineyard.
It's coming soon. Come.
Yes, I receive it.
All right, so we want to do a slight little transition, but before I get there, to all the listeners and supporters, leave the cognac alone, leave the Ciroc alone.
Leave it alone.
Let's grow up a little bit. Let's get some wine in there. But you alluded to it. You talked about it earlier, having your daughter at 15.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about your journey from her being your classmate sometimes while you were in college to now her being your business partner in so many different entities.
Man, I am so blessed to have Naya. Like, she was literally divinely created, like, to be my daughter, because she is the calm to like my super energy. And she's Aquarius. She's very mellow. She's very humble, and she's very focused and driven. I think when it comes to just our struggles, and with her, she's just never given up on me. No matter what. And I remember, I just wish she could be in here. So I remember, she remembers like one of my first apartments, and we didn't have like furniture yet, but we were out here, we were thugging it. So we would have what we call carpet picnics. So I would like cook, and like dinner would be on the carpet, but she thought it was so cool. Like it was everything. Like, so by the time we got like dining room table and stuff, like I don't even like that. Like I'm going to get the sheet and we're going to eat and like watch TV together. But yeah, she was there. I remember having like only a certain amount of money, and I had to like make a meal like out of nothing. And so this is when Blockbuster was still around. So we would go get like spaghetti stuff, and then I got a little bit of bread left, like gonna get you a movie from Blockbuster because we didn't have no cable. But those were the things like that super like excited her. So she's just been, with those type of struggles, she's been just always my support system. She's never given me any type of trouble when it comes to like school. She's never gotten in a fight in her life. I'm just, worried a little bit because she want to go off to college far. But but no, she's been in a breath of fresh air in my whole entire life. And I'm extremely thankful. As far as struggles, I would say that all of our struggles, now we don't even look at them as struggles. We look at them as like a rite to passage. Like we needed that to happen. I know we used to live in a certain neighborhood, and I always told Naya, like, before you graduate, I'm gonna get you out of here. Like, I'm gonna get you in a like nice neighborhood. Like, I'm gonna make sure that you go to a good school. And like, that's what I did. Like, right after elementary school, she been in private school ever since. And I'm not saying like public school and private school are different. What I'm saying is, if you live in a certain area in Charlotte, I'm sorry, you're going to a certain type of school. Right. That's just it. And the education will be different. And so with her just coming from, she was always a great, great student. So I knew I couldn't let her go to a certain type of school. So I did whatever I needed to do to hustle and bustle to make sure that my baby got to go to, and she's been in private school since she was in 6th grade, stellar grades. And she did go to college with me. She would be in all of my professors' classes. They all knew Naya. All my friends, they all knew Naya. So that's like this college time. When she goes to college this time, I feel like it'll be like her second time around.
Right.
You know,
She's prepared.
exactly. You know what it's like. You know what it's like to sit in professor's class. You know we got to be on time. Like you know this whole thing. So, but all of those things, like I think, equipped her for everything where she is right now. Like so, as she's prepared to go to choose her university, I think she's more like she's not frantic. She's not nervous. She's just like, oh, I'm going to college. Mm-hmm. Like, so like her hardest thing right now is just to pick where she want to go. She knows her major. She knows what she wants to be, all of that. And again, I think it's about the influences that she's been around for so long. The professors who took her under her wing, like she would be in my professor's office when I'm in, other classes. My professors were just like, oh, she's staying with me. Oh, she's coming over my house this weekend. Like they just always took, it's the HBCU love. Like they just really, support you. And that's what happened with Naya. So now I'm just like a mom who's like about to deal with like that empty nest syndrome and like go to therapy or something because I don't know and that's why I'm like, focus. Now I got to throw myself into this business because my child is going to be leaving me. So, but yeah, I'm really thankful for her. I'm thankful for every struggle because that's what really prepared us for now. That's why you can't tell us no. That's why, nothing now even seems like a struggle because we've been through so much. Yeah. So everything now is just gotten us prepared for where we are.
Thanks. Shout out to Naya.
Yeah.
Shout out.
So are you guys liking the rosé?
We are.
We are.
Yeah?
More than everything else. I'm killing it right now.
Didn't I tell you? I tried to tell you.
I had to play catch up, but I'm on the right page now.
Yes, you are.
All right, we're going to change lanes for a second.
Switch.
We know you're a Jeezy fan.
Huge.
Okay. Versus. It's a whole question, but I think that's all I really need to say.
Listen, so I'm a Jeezy fan, but I'm an old Jeezy fan.
Hey,
so it's different for me because I got where no, it's not. I can't even be politically correct about this. Who's talking about? I'll give you a specific example. Who's talking about Jeezy's new album? Where's the conversation? Did y'all just go silent? Listen, I'm telling you, I put it up on my Facebook, and you know what people said? The rap connoisseurs that said it's a solid album. That's all they said.
We're referring to 104, correct?
Yes,
okay.
That's what they said. They said, it's a C album. It's a solid album. What do you mean? We never talked about that. Talked about Jeezy like that. What? A solid album. This is the snowman himself. We were never saying that his albums were just solid. I'm not saying that he's not a good rapper. I think he has elevated himself into this businessman, and I think it's okay for him to go ahead and be a great businessman. This industry, per se, rap per se, it just doesn't require you to do, what you used to do, or even spend your time rapping now. It's okay. Just, make your exit. I'm just not a fan of the new Jeezy because I'm a Gemini. I have two sides. When I work, I want to work. When I turn up, I want to turn up.
Gotcha.
And I turn up to old Jeezy.
Fair understandable. Enough. Completely understandable.
Yeah. I can turn up to new Gucci though. I can't. You can't. Gucci has bangers. He still has bangers. The same
Gucci, yeah.
He's
the right.
He still has bangers, and that's
clone or not. He's
clone
the same.
or not. We still getting the same music.
That's
okay,
good.
That's
very,
it.
very true.
That's it.
Now, I want to switch pace right quick.
Okay.
One quick second.
Switch.
Yes. So, what's the feeling you get? Describe the feeling you get when you do the mommy and me packages.
Okay, so I definitely get a reminiscing of what me and Naya used to spend time doing. So I get to interact with other moms, and I just get to see them they taking pictures with their daughter. They're and their daughter's small, most likely, so they're really creating those memories that last a lifetime, and that's what Spa Diva is about anyway. But it's just I kind of get sad now because I'm like, dang, you done grew up on me. Now you just have to go be great. But yeah, I'm proud, and then I get a little sad just because she's all like grown up now. So that's how I feel.
Always gonna be mama, baby. You know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Good vibes.
100%. 100%.
Of course.
All right, so now we've reached the favorite segment of Jack of All Spades Nation. We call it Top 5 Dead or Alive.
Okay.
Shout out Jada Kiss. So you are definitely a queen raising a queen.
Thank you.
What are the top 5 tips that you would give to other parents on raising an amazing child?
Okay, so one, as much as I have my my goals for Naya, Naya is my child. She is not me, and I cannot pressure her into what I want to see her be. I have to let her fly and be who she's supposed to become.
Ooh, that's
Message.
yeah.
Number 2, encourage creativity. Encourage your child to be them and not conform to society. Number 3, I would say do not let society teach your child everything. I think my daughter just came to me the other day and she said, Mom, I'm so glad you talked to me about stuff, because I just have friends and their mom, her parents don't talk to them, about stuff that goes on in the world, about women's stuff, all these things. I refuse to let anybody educate my child on certain things than me. Even when they educate her, it's still my job to re-educate her at home. And I think number 4, definitely, I would say show up. For me, I think my daughter, it's a confidence in knowing that I'm going to be there. Like, no matter what's going on, she knows like her mom is coming. I mean, she calls grandma because sometimes if I don't answer my phone, she goes to grandma, but she knows I'm the one to come to everything. If you go to her school, every single child at that school, like who knows Naya, they know about her mom, because that's just, I'm very adamant about 100% being in your life. I want to know your friends. I want to know, what's the latest music. I want to know everything. You could tell me, because I think that keeps your child from feeling like I have to hide everything from you. And then my number 1 is just love unconditionally. I'm not really into the whole, like my child I'm not going to love them if they're gay, straight. I'm not going to love them if they're dating a white guy. Like I'm going to love my child regardless, like no matter what. It's an unconditional thing for me. When it comes to parenting, there is no perfect parent. There is no perfect child. And you got to be the one to say, hey, like I'm not going to, because you can get mad at each other. And then some parents are very stubborn. Like they'll be wrong. And they won't come to their child and tell them that they're wrong. I know for me and Naya, mother-daughter issues are like, Naya, did you take my shirt? No, I ain't got your shirt. Naya, I'm about to go in your room and see if my shirt in there. Okay, Naya, my shirt was right here. Well, I didn't put it in there. You know what? I'm not even about to argue with you. It's fine. So just knowing how to smooth things over, letting your child see that you're not perfect, like really apologizing to them if you're wrong, really apologizing to them if you have a moment and you're talking crazy, because sometimes we can be irate and we might lose our temper and we just go off, but we have to let them know like, hey, like it's okay to be wrong. Because if we don't let them know, especially as a Black woman, if we don't teach our daughters about apologies, about accepting wrong, it creates a monster, because now it's a Black girl who just has this attitude and this entitlement, and that you don't have to apologize and you don't get to be wrong. And so for me, it was very important to let her know, like, hey, your mom isn't perfect. I'm never going to be perfect, and you don't have to be either. What we do have to do is acknowledge when we're wrong. So, yeah.
Hey, Jack of All Spades Nation. Camillya Masunda. Shout out all the social media handles where the people can find you and find this great Ebony Wines and Spirits.
Okay, first we're at Ebony Wines and Spirits. So just at Ebony Wines and Spirits. We're going to go at Spa Diva Kid Spa. Spa Diva Kid Spa. At Congo Queen 08. That is the personal at CONGOQUEEN 08. So that's where you're going to find all the personal shenanigans with me and my daughter and just me living life. And then at Cultural Giving Tree is our Afrocentric Child Development Center. definitely, if you need quality childcare that is celebrating your child's uniqueness within the culture, definitely look us up. We do have a waiting list, but you can get on it too. And at Camillya's Organics, at CAMELLIAS Organics, and that's where you can find all of our CBD and lifestyle products.
All right, y'all have heard that. You already know what time it is. Anchor.fm, all the streaming platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, SoundCloud. Shout out Jay Marlowe for the YouTube, audio and the visuals.
Yes.
I am the beloved one.
It's your boy, Proud of Africa, YBB. Shout out Congo.
Is there Banks, Blue Order Banks, Fat Boy Tires, Auto Repair?
A Tribe Called Quest. Rest in peace, Fife Dog. Tell your mother, tell your father, send a telegram. And we out.